All right, everyone. James and I have just come out of the Joyride screening based on it's a R-rated comedy. What are your thoughts on this film, James?
I'd just like to disclose that coming out of our screening, we got little chocolate dicks on sticks, and I'm going to eat it while we review this. I mean, it's on a stick, so it could be lollipops. I'm either going to suck dick or eat dick while we review this.
It's not a lollipop. It's just chocolate on a stick.
Oh, you're already eating your dick?
Yeah, I ate on the car ride here. I was hungry.
Yeah, all right. Strap in, guys. It's going to be an R-rated review for an R-rated movie.
Strap on.
Huh?
Strap on.
Oh, that wasn't even intentional, but I do like the humor there. So I'm just eating chocolate.
Bad idea.
Well, what an opening. No, I really I can't even get on board with this. No, I did love this movie. It's one of those kind of movies that we don't get very often nowadays, and that's the R-rated comedy with very crude humor. And we just had No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence, and I think this one takes it up a notch in terms of just how crude and how kind of R-rated it goes. There's some real dark humor here, and I think it really, it finds that perfect balance between going for the dark humor without it being, just straight up offensive. So I like that balance. It gets to the point where it's laugh out loud humor. The whole audience that we sat in, they were just laughing and cracking up a lot of the time. It's done real well. Another thing that I liked about it wasn't just, like a comedy. I mean, my favorite comedy of all time is The Hangover, but I consider that just as pure comedy. Like 100% of the time, it's just all laughs and that's all it's there for. And that's why I like it as my favorite comedy. This one, it has a nice balance of heart to it. There are some quite, emotional moments, and it builds the characters in a way that allow for that, those emotional moments to really hit hard, I feel. Yeah, so that was something that kind of made the experience of watching it like better as well. Obviously I do like pure humors or pure comedies, but when the screenwriters and the directors do their job to make the audience feel, I think that just goes an extra mile. So that was something to be appreciated of. I would find, or if I'm critiquing kind of the narrative pieces of the story, it would be that, when it comes to this, group of friends who go over to China to help the main character find her birth mother, that's essentially the basic plot of the story. Just some of the friendship and kind of the arcs and the conclusions and the resolutions, they do feel a bit rushed. I felt. I do believe that, they could have fleshed out a bit more of the character. And like, while I did say before that there's a nice balance between heart and humor here, if it leant a little bit more on the heart side of things, you would have felt a little bit better, and I wouldn't be having that critique, I don't think. That's why sometimes it's best if you're going to be like a real kind of dark, edgy, R-rated comedy movie, just have it as that. I don't think you need to put so much emphasis on, the emotional side of it. But all in all, it's a very minor critique. And, when you do see the movie, I'm just trying not to give away plot specifics here. When you do see the movie, you'll completely understand what I mean by that. From a visual standpoint, it's nothing to gawk at. It's nothing to it's not beautiful, stunning in any kind of way. But I think it gives a little bit more of an extra effort than traditional comedies. Comedies are those movies that it's all in the writing, it's all in the dialogue and how they get the laughs out of it. Visual comedies are very rare, type of comedy and film that we don't see all too often. And I mean visual comedy in the way that it's shot, not in the sense of haha, we see a vagina or something like that. So I think this one does the little bit extra. It has some kind of flashy, artsy kind of stuff, almost like cartoonish stuff at times. Yeah. There's a wide array of different things going on. And while those moments are quite, to and far, between, they're not there very often, but it kind of just spices things up for the eyes a little bit. So that was kind of, that was nice. As for the score, I thought the song selection, I thought they really worked within the film. I thought it, just, not elevated the tone, but just fit in like very nicely with the tone of the film. But yeah, honestly, just it's such a good laugh. It's so, it's just so fun, and it's just like one of those things you can go with your mates and just have a really good time at the cinema, and just have a bunch of laughs. What do you think, Nan?
Yeah, it's definitely probably one of the better comedies since probably a little bit before COVID. Probably since Game Night, I reckon. I can't think of a better comedy that has stuck out to me.
That's true, yeah.
Since then, it was really good. I pretty much agree with the majority of your points that you made. The heart, I think it was an hour and a half. I think if they gave like an extra 10 minutes, they could explore that sort of emotional side a bit better. So, it actually hit you harder when that revelation happened. But even then, it's still, it's still pretty good and still effective.
Yeah.
Either way, I thought the actress, Ashley Park, the main one, I think she was fantastic and
she was great, eh?
and like not just emotional side, but the comedy side as well. And trying to like the gist of the plot is her to make a sale or to get someone to sign for her law firm so she can get promoted. I think the way she did that was fantastic, and I think Stephanie Shu as well.
Yeah,
she was great as well. I mean, she was coming off Everything Ever All at Once and somewhat of a different character. She was a bit more what's the word? A bit more poshy sort of.
Influencer like.
Yeah, and
that's how to describe
it was just great, like seeing her in that role. As well, and the other main character, Sherry Cole, as well. I haven't seen her much. This is probably the first thing I've ever seen.
Did I?
No, it's the best friend.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I forgot her name. But yeah, I thought she was pretty great as well.
Yeah.
That sort of childish sort of adult.
Yeah.
I thought she played it fine. There were a few scenes in there where like they tried to push too hard for the laughs, and it just didn't. It came off quite like. It was a bit too forced and cringy at sometimes.
Yep.
Deadeye did that quite a bit. I felt. But yeah, other than that, the comedy absolutely sticks, and I think the 97% is quite justified. It's definitely really good at this.
I mean, I think the 97% will fall down.
I think so too. As more credits come out and stuff, I think it's just because they're not quite used to that humor of nowadays. So. Which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can see a few more films like this because, everyone needs a good comedy every now and then. Otherwise, it's just your generic Daddy's Home sort of stuff. And those are quite hard to watch.
They are. Bad Mums and Daddy's Home.
Oh, Bad Mums, I forgot about that.
It's a bad double feature, bro. I do not recommend. No, but I like the fact that you bring some of the humor that was forced. I kind of forgot about that when I was talking. Yeah. There were parts where like, there's kind of crickets, just no one kind of laughed, and you knew they were trying to get a joke. I think it's when I forgot the actress name, but yeah, it is in those parts as well. It's also in parts where the childish best friend. I actually found that character quite annoying majority of the time.
I did too.
Yeah, and the whole resolution kind of, I don't know, it didn't.
It was rushed.
Yeah,
it was very rushed.
Yeah, because I didn't really agree with it or really understand. It kind of just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah. But yeah, those two characters, they can push the humor a little bit too far to the point where it's kind of like annoying.
Yeah,
yeah. Stephanie Shu though, her and Ashley Park are definitely my favorite standouts in this.
Definitely.
I just love how it's such a different role for Stephanie Shu.
It is, eh?
Yeah, just
instead of playing like this cocky sort of like villainous character, she's just like just an influencer-esque type person that
Yeah,
got to imagine,
but raunchy and horny and like
so good.
Yeah, no, it's just, and she just does it so well. Like you'd feel like she's been always in these kind of like movies, but no, this first timer and just comes in and nails it. Ashley Park, that was great. I hope we see more of her in the future as well.
Yeah. Me too. I agree with you with the score as well. Like it did have like sort of soundtracks to it, which is something with the soundtracks or that they use, the songs that they use, isn't quite stuff we hear in throughout films.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's somewhat different,
Mhm.
so it's quite refreshing. And it did accompany some scenes as well.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
What would be your ready for scores or anything else?
Just want to say this dick is delicious. I mean, you had to eat it on the way over here, but man, I'm glad I saved it till now.
What's your score?
For the dick or the movie?
Both, if you want.
Ooh. The dick, I would give it 7.5. A little bit too much chocolate on there.
This is what I have to put up with on a pretty much daily basis, guys.
This is why we need to be on video. It'd be so much more funnier. No. For the movie though, out of 10, I would give it a solid 8. It's not the perfect movie, but for a comedy and for dark humor in this kind of day and age, it's a really tough thing to pull off, and I think they pulled it off as one of the best in recent memory. Like you said, Game Night is probably the last one where I can actually remember or want to remember, for that matter. Yeah, and this stands alone up there, and better than No Hard Feelings this year.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your score?
Me, I would give it an 8.2 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, you said it. I was like laughing quite a lot in there.
Yeah.
Except for the cringy sort of scenes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird balance. Hey, there's parts where you cringe and there's parts where you just burst out laughing.
I think it's because like my humor is dark humor and it just really hit with me.
Yeah,
You know, because I just found it so funny. It's like so refreshing to stuff that you see nowadays because they don't really tread on those waters, but this film did, and it's just like, oh shit, they did that. I can't believe they did that.
Yeah. It's such an untapped market when it comes to comedy. Yeah, but it's like I said, man. I just like how it's not like, you know, obviously like offensive, but it's still dark humor to the point where it's good and everyone can kind of laugh at it.
Yeah. All right, that will do us for our review for Joyride. Hope you enjoyed it. Head over to moviegains.com and we'll have a full written transcript version within the next couple of days. Also head over to moviegains.com to see any of our other content, such as box office analysis, past reviews, and 4K media as well. And if you enjoy listening to our voices, head over to Spotify or wherever you pod from and search up Let's Be Real and listen to our podcast that's on weekly, every Monday or Sunday, depending on which hemisphere you're on. And be sure, if you do see Joyride and you want to discuss this with us further, head over to our social media. We're active on Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest. Not that you can't really discuss much with us on Pinterest or YouTube as well.
Message people.
No, I don't know.
But we're active on it anyway.
We're active on it and YouTube as well. Give us a message and we'll love your thoughts on this and whether the dark humor hit with you guys as much and if it was refreshing for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on New Zealand Saturday for our Mission Impossible review.
Oh, that one I'm excited for.
All right. See you later, guys.
Peace.